What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Oilers rebuild, the expansion team rebuild. What an incredible second season it was. We go on a Super Bowl run that no one saw coming after, I think, a 1-4 start. This team really figured things out, and things are just getting started with this team. Now, obviously, we're showing right here the Cam Jordan retirement scenario. He was a big part of that run, man. What was that? The Super Bowl game. He had a big sack, inspired the team, but he is going to ride off literally into the sunset and retire, creating a bit of an interesting discussion with that edge group because we also have Yetur Gross-Matos, a pending free agent as we approach the offseason here. So that's definitely going to be a narrative as we move forward. Now, first of all, please do hit that like button. Above all, really appreciate the support there. Some of you commented that you would enjoy seeing me rebuild a different team within this universe as we move forward. So I'm going to continue for at least another season with the Oilers. I would need to see like pretty massive numbers of people that want to see that, and there's really no other way than to like know that you guys would really want to see that. I'm going to put a comment in the description of this video. I'm going to pin it. If it gets 1,000 likes, I will consider it, but that's seriously the amount of like interest I would need to see from you guys to make it worth my time to do that. So seriously, if you want to see that, if you want to see me rebuild another team within this world while the Oilers continue, maybe after next season or after a fourth season, do like that comment in the description below. I need to see 1,000 likes or I probably won't do that. So I'm just letting you know that's the level I need to see here. But let's go ahead and get into it. So the aforementioned renegotiation stage here, and we do have some decisions to make, some players that we're going to want to let go here. We do have a ton of cap space, $96 million, so we can be active or we can stash that as we look towards the future a little bit. There is rollover cap here that we can apply to future seasons. That's a valuable asset right there. So Yetur Gross-Matos didn't really give us much. We do still have Boye Mafe on roster, and the rookie out of Auburn, what was his name again? Derek Hall. So he was pretty solid as a rookie. Definitely going to be a starter for us and a ton of potential as we look forward to the future. He does have star dev. And then we also have Boye Mafe, who honestly is not terrible. He made some plays in given opportunities. He does currently have that future starter tag. So we've got options. I think it's a pretty big no-brainer to let Yetur Gross-Matos go, even though he was one of our expansion draft decisions from the Panthers. He just isn't really going to be worth that payday. So we're going to let him go. Also, Matt Filer, we're going to let him go. That was also a part of the plan. We've got Ezra Cleveland with star dev, who we took from the Vikings in the waiting, and he's going to fill right in at left guard there. KJ Hamler's an interesting one because Hamler got hurt, and then we put Diami Brown in, who was our Commanders expansion team pick, in there in the slot, and he was great. So Hamler is still a really good kick returner. I would assume Tavon Austin is no longer on this team. Yeah, he is a free agent. We're not going to bring him back. We have all of this cap space. It's still not a bad idea. It reminds me of the Bills maybe extending someone like Isaiah McKenzie. 3 years, $15 million. Like, it's really not the worst contract. I don't know if he'll take this, but I am going to make this offer, and if he takes it, that's great. If he walks, maybe, it is what it is. But he's going to stick around. He wants to stay on the winning team, so I don't mind that. He provides depth. He can really play all three positions. He can play slot, X, and Y in the event of injury, and he can return kicks for us. So I think that's a good use of this massive amount of cap space. Mason Stockey, also interested in re-signing. Can we lowball him a little bit? He's very interested in returning, although not according to Madden. Beyond that, I think we're probably good. Deontay Thompson, a little expensive there. No, thank you. The punter, Mitch Wishnowsky. I don't have any issue with re-signing Mitch as our punter at $2 million a year. That's fine with me. Lambo was up and down. I think we let him go. And yeah, pretty simple decisions there. And this is exciting. We've got a ton of cap space. What a window we have here with this rookie quarterback. Will Levis just getting started here. But I mean, we've got a Super Bowl team here, and Will Levis is under contract for $8 million a year for the next few years. That's ridiculously valuable to this team. So let's do a little self-scouting as far as like what our needs are looking forward. We're pretty good at running back. I liked the way Tavian Thomas played for us as that relief back, that third down back for A.J. Dillon. Wide receiver, we still have Corey Davis here. He played great for us. He hardly regresses, so still expecting Corey to be our number one wide receiver. We really don't need to touch wide receiver. Honestly, we have a loaded group, especially after bringing Hamler back. These guys are young too. That's the other thing with Hamler is he's only 25. Tight end, we're in good shape as well. We're going to need some depth, but Jonnu is getting up there in age. We do have Jelani Woods. He's 25, so yeah, it wouldn't hurt to address tight end, but we certainly don't need it. O-line's in pretty dang good shape as well. We even have Dylan Parham as just good versatile depth here, so we're in really good shape there. We could always use like an elite tackle if one were to show up for us. I would say edge is going to be one of those premium needs. I'd be okay playing Mafe, but obviously Cam Jordan retires. That's a big face in the locker room. That could be a free agent need if someone becomes available. One of those veteran guys that shows up. That might be a good kind of hole to fill for us. Defensive tackle, we're in pretty good shape. I like the way Zach Pickens is shaping up. Another position where if elite talent presented itself, I wouldn't shy away from. Linebacker, Deion Bush has been great for us. Matt Milano getting up there in age, though, 30 years old. Is Christian Harris the future there? Maybe. He did go up to star dev in that relief, rotational role last year, so that could be a need. Corner, we are in pretty good shape. We've got Sean Murphy-Bunting and Malachi Moore. Maddox is getting up there in age a little bit. Tywan Mullen played well when Maddox did go down, but definitely a position we can address. And then safety, we've got two superstars back there. Julian Blackman had a great year last year, so he's the future there, and we just extended him. That said, John Johnson, 28 years old, we might want to find a strong safety. So I would say our biggest needs are going to be safety, corner, edge, maybe tight end. But we are really at the luxury where we can just add elite talent where we see it and do the best we can, best player available everywhere else. So let's advance to free agency. Already seeing some big names here. Justin Tucker let go by the Ravens. That could be fun to upgrade at kicker because we did let Lambo go. Talked about maybe adding some elite talent. Elton Jenkins at right tackle. The Packers unable to retain him, so that's something to consider. Hawkinson at tight end. Probably not a need. Onwenu could be a star. Guard, he's only 26 years old. Ezra Cleveland does have tackle experience, so upgrading the O-line never an issue. Ed Oliver, that makes sense that the Bills couldn't retain him. Kind of superstar D tackle, but that team getting expensive with them paying Josh Allen now, so that could be a piece right there. Trayvon Diggs at corner could be a lot of fun, but we don't really need that outside piece. Khalil Mack, that is like the exact type of piece we were talking about filling in for what we need here. That would make a ton of sense. The Chargers let him go. He is 33 years old. I like this. I think to keep this realistic, a 2-year deal with more salary than bonus, about 30 mil, 2 years. I think it'd be pretty front-loaded. We can't front-load guarantees and stuff in Madden, thanks EA. To keep it realistic, I think what I'll do is just lower the bonus so that it's spread out a little bit more and bump up the salary a touch. That way, if he regresses hard or doesn't play well for us, we can get out of it in year 2. That's the way a lot of these veteran contracts are structured. But at 33, I think he'd want 2 years of control. So he doesn't love it. He doesn't hate it. We actually need to increase that offer to get to be a little bit more competitive, because the Patriots and the Falcons are also interested. So what happens if we go up to player friendly? Goes a little bit higher. So what if we just flip this and go 8.8 and 7.8? That makes us in a competitive offer. I would love to be at the top of that list there. So let's try one more time. And let's just bump this up. So that's pretty expensive, 18 a year, but he's still a very good player. Obviously has a really high pedigree, and that puts us at the top. So hopefully that's enough to get Khalil Mack. It's going to be an exciting free agency here, you guys. This team could be sick this year with all that cap space. Man, the offensive line is very tempting to go from good players to great players there. You've got Elton Jenkins and Mike Nwenu, 26 years old and 28 years old. Those guys are going to be premium players for the course of a long contract. I honestly don't mind going after both of those guys. My team building philosophy, which was consistent going back to our expansion team draft, is to build through the trenches. That's been apparent. We're trying to reload with a guy like Khalil Mack. As we look at our O-line, Orlando Brown is not going anywhere at left tackle. We're paying him an ass load of money, so that's not changing. But Ezra Cleveland, far from a superstar, right? We do have Eric McCoy, who we paid last year. But Jonah Jackson at right guard, Jawan Taylor at right tackle. These are good players. And I'm kind of talking myself out of this because they did get the job done. But none of these guys are superstar players, right? Literally talking about that superstar development trait. True people movers up front. So Jawan Taylor's contract is not that bad. We can definitely get out of this with a trade as well if we did land one of these guys. He would be a very valuable player. He's a 81 overall tackle. So we could probably get like an early second round pick for a player like that. And then Ezra Cleveland, if he starts, he starts. If he doesn't, I'm fine with it. So I'm going to make like competitive offers for these guys. I'm not going to overpay necessarily. And Elton Jenkins isn't all that interested. But there also is only one player, one team rather, interested. So if we go just a player-friendly contract here, that's going to put him at $20 million a year. We could cheese the system and make this a West Coast scheme fit, but let's not cheese the game like that. We're going to make a player-friendly offer to Elton Jenkins, and that does put him at the top of the market there. And then let's make a player-friendly deal as well for Michael Nwenu. And that doesn't even really put us in the running there. We might have to go very player-friendly for him. Guard's a little bit cheaper, though, so $15 million a year for him. Still, the Lions really want to bring him home to Michigan. He wants to return home to Michigan as well. That's a little expensive. We are not in that dire of a situation to overpay that much. If the Lions are really hitting it off with him, I think we'll back out of the Michael Nwenu contract negotiations. So that makes me feel even better about the offer we have on the table for Elton Jenkins. But then that might open the door to go and talk to an Ed Oliver, who would be a game-changing pass rusher up front. 26 years old. I'm going to make a very player-friendly offer to him, and even then, I'm going to crank this up a little bit. We're going to pay him $17 million over 5 years. And that does put us at the top of the offers. So that's pretty aggressive spending there. I think we can chill out a little bit now. The only other guy would be Justin Tucker. Hits the block here, 34 years old. He wants a 1-year deal. Let's make this a 3-year deal. I mean, he's the best kicker in football. Why not bring him in when we have all this cap space? And looks pretty likely that we're going to get him. So I think we're pretty good here. Let's eval offers. Let's move this thing forward. And we get Justin Tucker, Elton Jenkins, and Ed Oliver all coming into the team. Wow, this team's just getting even better. What about Khalil Mack? Where are we at with him? He chooses to sign with New England. So that edge group now becomes very clearly our biggest need. Are there other players here that could work for us? Not of Khalil Mack's caliber, right? Romeo Okwara looking like maybe the best player. Charles Harris is fine. Maybe you need to start thinking about either a trade or the draft here for that edge room. And maybe that could be a situation where we work something out with Jawan Taylor. So Elton Jenkins is going to plug right in at right tackle. Jawan Taylor, I think, makes sense to be moved here. So maybe let's explore some sort of a beneficial trade involving Jawan Taylor. Does anyone have a good edge player but lacks a right tackle? I mean, Von Miller could be a piece that makes sense here. Do the Bills have edge players? So they got Greg Rousseau. Not really. So I don't know if that would really make sense for them, especially after they lost Ed Oliver. So maybe not the Bills. The Chargers. Nick Bosa? Or Joey Bosa? He's 29 years old. This is interesting. I don't think this is crazy because Herbert's got to be at the point of being paid here, right? Like, I don't think they were good. They obviously just let Khalil Mack go. Rashawn Slater's going to need to be paid. Bosa getting traded at 29 years old wouldn't be the craziest thing. Let's maybe look at their situation and see if this could make sense for them, because I'm pretty sure they weren't good. They were... Yeah, they have a high pick. They're 6-11. Let's look at their contract situation, because they might be in a weird window here where they might be looking for a little bit of a reset, where they might be able to get a lot here for Bosa at this point. For a team like us that's, trying to double down and repeat. So if we go here, so Bosa has 2 years remaining. They can clear a ton of cap space by getting rid of him. They have to pay Derwin. They have paid Herbert. He's a massive cap hit moving forward. So there's that. They're going to have to pay Rashawn Slater. Those are huge contracts coming up for them, right? They have, $36.5 million in cap space. I mean, this makes a ton of sense. Gives them some flexibility, gives them a right tackle, which they don't have. I mean, Trey Pipkins also is going to need to be paid, but he's not the answer. I actually think this is the perfect superstar trade. We see these kind of moves all the time nowadays. Let's see if they accept something here. Would Jawan Taylor and a first-round pick and a future second be a good offer here for a player like this? I mean, they're going to decline it here, but I don't think that's an unreasonable offer, especially because Jawan Taylor is going to be really cheap for them because we have to eat some of his contract. So let's go ahead and force this. I think this is pretty realistic, you guys. I think that makes big time sense for them to trade a kicker for all those pieces. Yeah, I like that for both parties, honestly. They're going to have to figure out some edge help, but they got plenty of pieces now. And for us, I mean, to get Bosa, this is going to be quite the defense here. Putting Oliver in there as well. I mean, we have added real superstars to offense with Jenkins, defense with Oliver and Joey Bosa. I'm going to do that a lot. And moving forward, I apologize. And even special teams, we get a superstar in Justin Tucker. So what an offseason, what the beginning here. The draft's going to be a little bit less exciting without that first round pick. What's wild is we still have $32 million in cap space. But I really don't think any more free agent signings are going to do much for us. I think it's time we advance forward. And we can start thinking about the draft. So edge has been kind of taken care of. I think corner and safety are really where we want to focus. Maybe if we could hit on like a superstar receiver in the mid rounds. But we're still pretty good at that position as well. I like the way those guys are growing. So let's make sure we have these guys in this range evaluated. And that looks like what we want to do is maybe these three right here. Although this guy seems to be getting trashed. Decent speed. We don't need to waste our time on Eric Buchanan there. Let's scout these two. And then how about another safety in that range? And on we go to the draft. Let's hop right into it. First overall pick. Is this going to be a quarterback? No, Darrell Wilkinson. Another edge for Washington. Or maybe a D tackle. There's no way to know. Thanks, EA. A quarterback for the Lions. Chester Burns out of Colorado State. Linebacker slash maybe pass rusher, no idea, to the Saints. Jags get a D end. Dolphins, a new quarterback. Tua not working out in this world, maybe like he is in real life. Or maybe they just didn't want to pay him. So Joe Jackson out of Wisconsin. The Niners beefing up that line. And then this is the pick I'm curious to see if they go with a pass rusher. They do. Clyde Perriman. Another Perriman for the Chargers, although I don't know if he's a pass rusher or not. But yeah, we're going to sim to our pick. We're not going to get too aggressive here in the draft. We're just going to try to go best player available. Probably looking at one of those defensive backs here. Looks like a few like first round talents at wide receiver did slip through the cracks. So potentially something to look at there. But let's look at these corners. And all the guys we scouted did go. Zaire Goodwin here is 5'9" out of Ohio. That doesn't look like a good pick for us. Ben Hunter. Marginal speed. George Myrick has great speed, elite acceleration. We don't know much about him. He's 23 years old. He's 6'2". He ran a 4.30 at his pro day. This would kind of fit the developmental high upside type of pick that we're looking for there. That might be my fallback. At safety, I don't know if these guys... Poor speed for Jason Irving. Clock is ticking on us. Poor speed for Sean Smith. Marginal speed for Greg Samuels. 30 seconds remaining. Sidney House. Solid speed, but yeah, I think we take that swing for the fences with George Myrick, unless we love one of these wide receivers. Let's look real quick. Actually, I'm gonna pause it. Real teams get more time than 2 seconds. Plus, they have a little bit more time to prepare. So I am going to pause it there just to be safe here. I don't want to rule out any of these wide receivers or maybe a tight end because we want to go best player available. So this guy, 6'2", 220, great speed. Tough dude. He doesn't look bad. He's 22 years old. Tyrell Perkins, 6'4", 234. Good speed, elite strength. He ran a 4.36 at his pro day. He's got B release. I mean, goodness, you guys. This is like a Chase Claypool type of product here. And with Corey Davis getting up there in age, he could maybe replace that perimeter player long term. Let's go here. Oh my God. Hidden Dev, 92 speed. I'm glad we paused the clock. He's got 77 strength. He's like good at moving too. 87 change of direction. This guy could be a freaking monster out of UNC. Okay. We actually pick again here with the 12th pick. We should be able to get that corner that we wanted. Unless we like one of these tight ends. Oh. A awareness, A catching traffic, 6'5". What am I missing here? Elite jumping. This guy looks like he's going to be an X Factor type of guy. How is he still here? Oh my God. You guys, what an offseason. I can't believe this. Now we don't pick until the 4th round. Do I want to trade? Is that corner still there? George Myrick. He's a 3rd to a 4th round projection. Let's skip ahead like 20 picks and then trade up for him. No corners have gone yet. Let's get to like the top of the 4th round. One went. Ooh, okay, let's do it right here. He's going to be the top corner available. I love how it says our top need is a quarterback. How about a pair of 4ths, Bengals? 4th this year, 4th next year for this pick right here. It's basically a 4th rounder. Trade accepted. And now we take George Myrick. 93 speed, 95 acceleration, only normal dev. But if nothing else, he'll be a dominant special teamer for us. So now we'll go to our next pick in the 6th round. We are going to take Kirkpatrick. Not only does he look like he's probably a pretty good player, but his name is fucking Kirkpatrick. We needed some linebacker depth. He'll fit right in. Love that pick, actually. And then finally, Mr. Irrelevant. We should have made Kirkpatrick Mr. Irrelevant. How about we go with Chris Harris here, the D tackle, who is a good athlete, can learn from Ed Oliver a little bit. Oh my God. What a draft we just had. I cannot believe that. As we look at the draft recap, let's look at the top of the draft here. I guess it's showing us ours first. So Tyrell Pipkins, 72 overall. He's going to be a backup at first, but he is going to be a really fun player at some point. He's going to develop under Corey Davis. So we found a wide receiver replacement. Mitchell Reinhardt here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's got like superstar. 74 overall in the 3rd round. George Myrick has some work to do for sure. He's a 68, but that's not terrible, right? He's got 70 press. That's very workable. So happy with that. And then the late round guys, Kirkpatrick, 62, and then Chris Harris, 61. As we look at the top of the draft, Daryl Wilkinson, the #1 pick. So they've got him and Chase Young together. Chester Burns looks good. Sergio Vallejo. David Billups, Jose Jackson. Doesn't look like an upgrade over Tua for now. And then Clyde Perriman looks, yes, he is a pass rusher. So, I mean, for the Chargers' sake, if you want to, he has normal dev, but 83 power moves, 78 block shed. I mean, yeah, he's got normal dev, but if you want to talk about finding a piece to replace Bosa, that's a good start for them. And then who did they get with their other pick, with our pick? They took corner Zeke Goings, 74 overall. Another normal dev guy, but not a bad player. Gross number 13. They get a left guard in Garfield and a good wide receiver in the 3rd round. So I don't know why we're taking so much interest in the Chargers here. Maybe that's our future rebuild team. I don't know. But that's going to conclude an absolutely epic offseason for our Houston Oilers. I think we can repeat with this team. I think this is a team that regenerates a lot of buzz for this squad and absolutely creates some Super Bowl expectations. So really excited for this season. We're going to keep doing things the way we've been doing them. But again, If you would want to see me rebuild a different team, I need to know that there is a massive amount of interest for that. So I'm going to put a pinned comment down below. Hit the like on that comment, and then hit the like on the video while you're down there. Really appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you later. Peace out.